Hello, I'm Dr. Angie McCartney, and I'd like to tell you about my life, which is almost a century long, would you believe? So, let's start at the very beginning. The year is 1929. It gave us the Wall Street crash, panic, anxiety, and me, Angie McCartney. Born in Hoylake near Liverpool, England, I started school late at 6 years old due to ill health. I left school at age 11 when Hitler's nightly bombing meant that my school was taken over for folks who had lost their homes. Shortly after World War II, I holidayed at Butler's holiday camp in Pwllheli, North Wales, where I met Bet Robbins, Jim McCartney's niece, when we both entered a personality contest, Miss Something or Other. Through Bet, I met her Uncle Jim McCartney, father of Paul and Michael, and in November of 1964 we were married. This picture was taken at Rembrandt the morning after the wedding. Jim soon adopted Ruth and gave her the McCartney family name. Paul McCartney would often make the drive up from London to Heswall to spend weekends out of the smoke to play with Martha the dog and my daughter Ruth. That's how I became a Beatles stepmom. In my almost 100 years on this planet, the changes I've seen are amazing. It started with indoor plumbing, electricity, the telephone, telegraph boys. Yes, they used to come to your front door with a telegram on a piece of paper. And then there was, of course, technology. First the typewriter, then the electric typewriter, then computers. And so many things have happened since then. Communications, satellites, space travel, and now, of course, there's AI assailing us. The mid-60s was a time when 4 lads from Liverpool shook the world, and love was in the air. It all started at the Cavern, where the Beatles took their first slippery steps to success, and on this unforgettable stage, history was made. After the Beatle years, I needed to start over, so Ruth and I moved to London and worked several jobs all at once. Then we spent time in Sydney, Australia, Munich, Germany, Nashville, Tennessee, and finally settled in Southern California. When I look at my life, I can honestly say it's a bit of a magical history tour. Speaking of which, I'm deeply interested in people's stories, so I decided to interview folks who had made an impact on their community, such as Sweet Alice Harris, Val Camilletti, Lily Chu, and Pamela DeVar. I was once even called a freedom fighter by the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Heaven knows why, but you know what? I'll take it. So, eventually we began to build out our own family company, McCartney Multimedia. One of our first website clients was David Cassidy, who recommended us to other showbiz folks including Penn and Teller, John Cleese, and many more. But we also love to work with startups and help them get their business journeys on the long and winding road. Throughout my life, I've always worked for other people, as a secretary, a partner, a bookkeeper, and then I figured it was time to branch out on my own. So we'll put the kettle on and we'll sing a little song about a splendid spot of tea. Splendid! After many years of trying in vain to get a decent cup of tea in America, I remembered the old saying, if you want a job done properly, do it yourself. So, with a few $100 and the determination of a Scouser, I did just that. I started Mrs. Angie McCartney's Teas, with a percentage of the proceeds going to the Linda McCartney Breast Cancer Centre in Liverpool. You know, for people starting out in business, I would say initially, when you first meet people, trust your gut. If whatever reaction you have, that's it. People often ask me who is my favourite business idol. That's a tough one. But I think I would say Sir Richard Branson. He's a little nutty, he's a visionary, he's not afraid to take chances, he's got a good sense of humour, he's got a good heart, and he listens, believe me, he listens. So I decided to write a book, My Long and Winding Road.
This is Paul Salt, The Long and Winding Road, and Angie's just told me you normally cry to that. Have you?
I do.
You've managed to hold out.
I did.
Okay.
Especially for you.
Oh, thank you very much indeed.
Pete Price Unzipped on Radio City 96.
Tell me how you
feel? I know you've only just seen the book, although you've worked on it, you've only just seen and got the first copy yourself. Tell me how you feel.
Oh, well, it was just, like you said, surreal. By the way, I also became a Doctor of Business Administration in 2015, believe it or not. My secret to longevity is, apart from, you know, the regular things of food, shelter, good health, I would say is laughter. Laughter's so important. To take my sense of humour a little further, I thought it'd be a great idea to practice stand-up comedy with the Lemmings in Hollywood. You're never too old to learn.
Okay.
So, what do I have to do?
Just a repetitive action.
A repetitive action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
The dolphin kept on looking. He was going, ee.
I keep in touch with all my friends and family every Tuesday. My daughter and I host a show online that we call T-Flicks. Every week we have interesting guests. You can catch me there. That's it in a nutshell. Until the next 100 years.